should I come over? Am I supposed to be in it?
You can chill there if you want. You can speak up. You can just hear me run my mouth or whatever you want. Cool. I'm live. Isn't this fun? I have a special guest with me today. This is Anna. Anna just joined our team recently, so she's going to be a great addition. And then part of her just kind of in the onboarding and kind of learning how things go, she just wanted to join in and see how I do this with you all. So if someone's screaming in the corner, it's not me, it's Anna, I promise. But awesome, yeah, I'm happy you guys. I see there's some people already in here. As you guys know, I like to stall for at least the first 5 to 10 minutes so people can kind of gather their bearings and join. But I am Charlie. I'm from the Access Now onboarding team. And so is Anna, of course, excuse me. But yeah, if you guys are unfamiliar with how this works, you can just post a comment or a question down actually in the comment section, and I can answer it to the best of my abilities. You can give me your domain name if you want, and I can pull up your domain. I can screen share, or I can just interpret your answer however I can, provided the information you give me. More details, the better, of course. If you're saying, hey, Charlie, this is my domain, can you look at it, but don't share your screen? That's fine, I can do that. If you want me to share your screen, I can do that as well. But as you guys can see, the genius already asked a question here. How to fix the demonetization error on the Ezoic monetization tab. So again, this is going to be a little bit hard to answer without knowing his domain or anything, but underneath the monetization tab, it'll basically give you all the information in regards to reapply. So if you've been denied for a certain reason and a reapply is not available, it'll tell you that there. If it's saying, hey, you were denied for XYZ reason and you can reapply in 6 months or whatever the timeline left is there, it'll tell you that as where. I'm going to take a guess on your domain and see if I can pull it up somehow. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just kind of guessing off what your username is. Yeah, so no, I don't have a specific, I can't find your domain in our database, so I can't answer that there. But that is exactly how these live streams will go. So you can say, hey, Charlie, I'm having an issue with site speed. Hey, Charlie, I've noticed a dip in EPMV. Hey, Charlie, what is this feature? Hey, Charlie, I noticed this error in my dashboard. What does this mean? How do I fix it? And we can basically do that. I'm also going to be covering some really other exciting news. If you guys are kind of in the marketing loop of how Ezoic is and what we're doing, we're making a lot of changes and we're pushing a lot of new features and technology, mostly revolving around SEO and video content. So if you're saying, hey, well, I don't really create videos, that doesn't really pertain to me, well, you're wrong, because we're actually creating a tool that will actually turn your written content into videos. And I'm actually going to be doing a live version of that on like a test example site here. So if that interests you, hang around. I will also be going over some of the ongoing affiliate contests to give you guys an insight of basically how that works, how the cash bonuses works. But yeah, excuse me if I butcher your name, but I believe it's Helen. I'm really excited about next. So yeah, honestly, we are as well. And I am excited that I can show you it through my dashboard today. I don't have the new version of the dashboard that's going to be available to you guys in 4 days. But yeah, spoiler alert, the dashboard will update and the features will be available for you on the 17th of this month. So you're not too far out. You might have already seen some blogs about it. You might have already seen some content already written about it because we have released the features in the dashboard to our VIP and bigger level publishers. Doesn't mean that it's not going to become available to you guys, because as you guys have kind of figured out throughout the entire time being on Ezoic, is we don't really restrict what you guys have access to in this program. In fact, we give you guys all of the tools and keys to success that all of our big publishers get. Mainly the only difference will really be about like some of the premium ad partners we don't have access to, but other than that, basically you guys have a full reign of everything we offer. Sounds like Helen already has it, so that's really exciting. Helen, I'm curious, if you've used it already, if you've found success with it. I was messing around with it this morning, but as a spoiler, the 3 are Niche IQ, which will help with some of your SEO efforts like broken links and error links, and kind of see what content's doing well. The other one's going to be Flickify, which is going to be the tool that actually converts your written content into video content. And then the final one will be Humix, which is basically our video sharing network. And basically how that is, I'll be going into this more again. This is still kind of part of my stalling process. But it's basically going to be a video sharing hub or network where basically you can upload videos and other publishers that are using Humix can actually add them to their own pages. And you'll obviously earn revenue for those videos because they are your own. Even though they're on someone else's page or domain, you still get some of those earnings. But yeah, you don't even have to actually have your own videos. So you can upload your videos and have other publishers share them on your own, on their pages, or vice versa. If you don't have any video content, which now is no excuse because we have Flickify, but if you have no video content, you can actually use others' videos and share them on your own. There's some questions kind of filling in right now, but I still want to give everyone just a couple more minutes to join in. So that was a little bit of a rundown. So if you are rewatching this live stream in the future, feel free to skip ahead until I really start sharing my screen. That's probably when I'm first going to go into basically how Flickify works, and then I'll show you how to even add a video to your page using Flickify. I will be using the Chrome extension to add the video. So if you're like, hey, I want to follow along while you do this, well, if you're Helen and it's available for your dashboard, you can do that. But I'll say, Helen, right now, if you want to also kind of follow along and do this, I would just say just download the Ezoic Chrome extension now, so that way when you actually want to add that video placeholder, you're ready to do it. Okay, well, we're about 7 minutes in, so I'm okay with starting this now, and I'll go through some of these questions, some of these initial questions, and then I'll go through basically my Flickify tutorial. It's actually pretty fun. I don't know if you guys have done any video editing in the past. If you haven't, there's no issues. It's really not that hard. I can walk you through it, and we will be producing some really good content, like articles that'll actually walk you through it. But also in the future, I'll basically be creating like shorter videos, so you guys can just follow along with me and do that from there. John, yeah, I can for sure answer your question there at the bottom. Check your site for ads.txt. But let's formally, I guess, start this. That was a good enough stall. So again, as you guys can see in the bottom corner, my name is Charlie. I'm part of the Ezoic Access Now team. I'm here with Anna over in the corner. You guys might have seen her in Twist already. She's been in our community. She's been answering tickets. She's only like less than 2 weeks deep so far, right? And she's been killing it. She's already answering questions. So you guys will be a lot more familiar with her as time goes on. But as you can see, Helen's saying, I've done my 5 videos in Humix and they're already getting traffic and making revenue. Exactly. This is a super, super amazing feature that's coming out. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and read. It's probably not a good practice. But yeah, it's a great feature, and I think video content is going to be basically the next wave of online blogging, whether you like it or not. Google's going to be changing the way they do their rankings, prioritizing video content. They're going to be kind of testing that with mobile first, but that is something you kind of expect with the future. So there was also, I wish I pulled this article up before, but I'm going to find it for you guys. SEMrush did release an article recently talking about, if you guys aren't unfamiliar, SEMrush is actually an SEO plugin, and they did release an article, and that said about 83% of pages that have 1 video or more actually get more traffic. So there is maybe not a direct correlation, but there is going to be some similarities in between having video content on your pages and actually getting more visits. But let's go through these first questions, and then I'm going to start my little Flickify tutorial. I will also basically show you the Humix tab as well to get you guys familiar with how it is. As you guys know, it will be coming to your dashboard on the 17th of this month. So you do have a couple days to basically, read about it, get familiar. SEOchatter.com, if you guys have not been there, they actually released some really good articles covering this as well. They talk about some of the benefits, how it works, what it does, how you can utilize it, the different ways you can utilize it. and then go from there. I can actually pull that article up for you guys as well. That's a really good one. Cool. Okay, so if you guys are curious and want to just read on it really quick, I'm going to drop this article in the comment section so you guys can all see. But let me start going with these questions. I've said that like 3 times now. I'll re-answer this first one in case you guys have joined in later. So if you guys ever do get turned off for whatever reason and you're curious about if you're eligible for monetization moving forward, you can go to the monetization tab of your dashboard and you'll basically see if you're eligible, when you're eligible, and basically the reason why you were turned off. You'll also get an email always. But if you feel like this reason was, unjust, or you don't think that our evidence does support this decision, you can reach out to us in support, and we can kind of clarify and make sure we didn't make a mistake, because we really do. Helen's really excited about what's coming next. She already has Humix and Flickify enabled on her dashboard. That's amazing. I hope you've been somewhat, familiar with this. Maybe you've tried it out. Maybe you haven't yet. But Helen, I'm curious. I know you said you've added your 5 videos, but I'm curious how it's worked for you. Let's see, Become Techie says, hi Charlie, my site was slow from September 12th onwards. I enabled Leap in all optimization settings, but failed at Core Web Vitals for mobile. So this is a perfect example of, I would love to share my screen and actually pull up your dashboard and see exactly what changes could be made. I can walk you guys through how Leap works. I can show you what improvements to change and actually to get passing Core Web Vital scores for mobile, desktop, LCP, CLS, or whatever you want. So Become Techies, if you're still in here, could you do me a favor and drop your domain name down in the comment section? If you are trying to do that and it's not actually showing, or I'm not answering it, it's because YouTube will actually filter out comments. So if you put like yourdomain.com, the YouTube filter will actually take that comment and remove it and won't allow me to see it. So you want to put like maybe your domain without the .com or without the XYZ, and maybe put a space in the middle, and I have a good idea that that's your domain. But again, Become Techies, let me know what your actual domain name is, and I'll go through it from there. And if you don't comment what it is, I can pull up another publisher's website and go through it from there. Can I delete an Ezoic account? Absolutely. You can just simply remove integration, and then your website will have no contact with Ezoic. DNS will be fully removed. We won't be adding anything, no contact with our CDN, and you can actually remove your domain from your dashboard. That's a very easy process. I can also show you how to do that. John says, hi Charlie, hope you're doing well. My site don't show ads from ads. After integration Ezoic adds that text file. Can you please check my site? And here it is. As you guys can see at the bottom, so that is his domain name. And you see how he excluded the .com, and that's actually why this is going to show up in my comment section. But John's been in these live streams a handful of times before, so he knows exactly how this goes. I am going to share my screen. Let me pull this up for you guys. Cool. We'll keep this comment up. Okay, it also looks like you're still trying to get approval for Google Ad Manager. I can definitely go through that for you as well, if you'd like me to. Cool. Okay, so what are we talking about again? Oh, ads.txt. So let's figure this out. Well, he's saying my site don't show ads from ads. After integrating Ezoic ads.txt file, can you please check? So before we even go into the ads.txt file, as you can see in the setting up ad tester section here, that your domain was actually denied by Google for unsupported language. I'm curious what language you're actually using, because most of the languages that are supported in AdSense are also supported in Ad Manager. Excuse me, other than Somali. And there's a couple others, but Somali is the one I can only think of off the top of my head. And as you guys can tell, this for sure looks like it's in English. I didn't change the language, so I'm not sure why this is getting denied for this unsupported language. So what I can do for you, John, is I can actually open this directly with Google. I can create a Google ticket for you But some of the other things I'm noticing before I want to do this and bring it up to Google, I want to make sure that the rest of the site is fully set up to be approved. One of the things that Google looks for, which is very important, not just for you, John, but for everyone here, is that if I were to go to this, section of your category, this is kind of what we were talking about earlier too, is that if I go to like financial and then blog income, see how there's only 4 articles here? Google's gonna deny that every single time, regardless if you make $100,000 a day, a cent a day, 0 traffic, it doesn't matter. You're actually gonna need 5 to 6 articles or more, or Google's gonna deny it. But this one has 6. Social media income, this one has 6, so that looks great. Affiliate income, this one has 4, so again, you want to make sure you have 6 or more. And then other articles, this one also has 4. So maybe the best thing you should do here, John, is actually just consolidate the 3 categories that only had 4 of them, so that way you only have 3 categories in total. The other 2 have 6, and then the third category that you consolidated has 12 in total. That way Google won't flag it. But you're talking about your ads.text, that's why ads aren't showing. That's actually not the reason why ads aren't showing, but I can see that your ads.text is fully set up. So that's definitely dialed in. That's not an issue. You're all set there. It is going to be this unsupported language. So the one thing that I did notice is that when I open this, the notification or whatever I got here at the top, I forget what it said. Maybe it was like a subscribe thing. It looked like it was in a different language. So maybe if that was in Somali or one of the unsupported language for Ad Manager, I would just change that to English and then go from there. Before I get wrapped in this too long, let's keep moving along. This is Mona. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. I really hope I did not. But they say hi. I'll say hello as well. Thanks for joining. I don't think I've seen you in here before, so welcome. Hopefully you pick up a thing or two and I don't just run my mouth like a madman for an hour, which does happen, as you guys know. But yeah, Helen says, I've done my 5 videos in Humix and they are getting traffic and making revenue. Helen, I'm curious, are you also sharing your videos on other pages? Have you enabled that setting? But regardless, that's awesome. Beatrice says, hi, Charlie. Hello, everyone in the chat. Smart Cash says hello. Hello to you all. Ash says hello. Ash, great to see you again. I love when you guys are in here. This is definitely my favorite part of the week, as you guys know. Basandiel says, domain is mygeniusinsider.com. Thanks for your interest in Ezoic's monetization features. Unfortunately, your site has not been approved by our platform quality team. This is due to the fact that your site does not comply with Ezoic platform requirements and Google content policies. Common reasons for this include scrape content, adult content, sensitive downloads, or streaming websites. I'm not sure what your question was. You just copied the message from your actual domain. I will pull up to see the exact reason why, because I know we give a list of them there. But again, you didn't really ask a question, so I'm not sure what you're looking for. So it was denied for scrape content. And usually what that means is, we'll give you an opportunity to reapply one more time, but you should for sure go through your entire site, make sure that it does comply with policy, as in all the content is original and unique and provides benefit to the reader. I use this terrible example all the time with scrape content, but let's say if Anna owns a house down the street from mine, I can't just walk up in front of her house, put a for sale sign, and then sell it and earn money off it. It's not my content. It's not my house. I can't do that. It's the same concept here. Good question here. I've been receiving unknown direct traffic from Germany, like thousands of them, but earnings is barely 10 cents. I'm also worried it might be flagged as invalid traffic. How can I fix? So if you actually want to send me your domain, I can look into this. I'm not saying that just so I can look at the traffic and see what the quality is, but we did have something in the past where traffic was going to your site after making some changes from Germany. We did push a fix for this, but I just want to make sure that this isn't the case here. So I will need your domain name, and then I'll be able to answer that. Oh, no, I have not set it up to be shown on other pages. I would love for you to show me how. Sure, I can do that. And that's a great transition into me showing you basically how this works and what it might look like. Physics teacher, I want to answer this question really quick while you answer it. If we add an ad from a different provider, will it impact Ezoic? Yes, it will, and it will significantly. So let's say you're using Ezoic, and let's say you have AdSense, because that's just a common example. It's our biggest competitor. And you enable Ezoic ads and you're showing Ezoic ads on your site. But you know what? You're thinking in your head, I also want to optimize my AdSense. You then add AdSense ads to your Ezoic pages. So now you have Ezoic ads and AdSense ads showing at the same time. The reason why this is so detrimental to your site and your setup is because our AI has no idea that these AdSense ads are on your pages if you added them manually. And basically what that will look like for you and your users is when I go to a page, our AI will analyze it and will say, okay, let's have 7 ads show on this page. But little do they know, because you haven't actually wrapped the AdSense ad in Ezoic code, then those extra 4 or 5 AdSense ads that you added will be basically tackled on top. When you actually wrap those ads in Ezoic code, our AI will say, okay, there's also these 4 other extra ads going to be served through whatever network. And then it'll basically adjust and show the appropriate amount of ads. They all will be served through Ezoic placeholders, so don't let that confuse you. But on top of this, what you should do, physics teacher, is let's say the other ad network you're talking about was AdSense. You can actually go to the mediation app of your dashboard, which is going to be under the monetization tab. And you can actually add AdSense as a mediating partner. And basically what this does is, you have your Ezoic networks that bid on your inventory. Enabling mediation will basically add the AdSense partners to also bid on your inventory. So then you basically have a competition for your current inventory all through your Ezoic versions. So this means our AI will be displaying the proper amount of ads in the right locations and the right sizes. That also means you'll be earning as much money as possible for each ad location. So this will guarantee you're basically earning as much of your inventory. So it's one of the greater features we have. And from a publisher standpoint, it's a win-win, win-win-win. There's no downside. There's no loss for you guys at all. Okay, let me pull up my test domain. Cool. So the dashboard will actually look a bit different than it does right now for you guys. And basically the variance in what it shows now and what it will in the future is a pretty good representation of why Ezoic is such an amazing platform. Many times you guys think it's just another ad network where you can serve ads through Google and their ad manager program. But Ezoic is actually an all-in-one platform and tool for you guys to use. And I think this new update will really exemplify that to the extreme. Now, what I mean by that is Ezoic has new features coming out, 3 of them being Flickify, which you guys can see right here, Humix, and then Niche IQ, or Niche, however you guys would like to say it. But again, Flickify is actually going to be the tool that is going to create videos from written content. You can do that a couple different ways. You can start it from scratch, like this, and then import media and import your script. You can actually click here and say use this script, and you can just you can write your articles out right here, blah 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 blah, and then we can turn that into videos. Or the way that I've been using it so far, if you guys do have content that you want to use, is hold on, let me go back and actually pull up my. Hold on, sorry. This is going to be basically the best way for you guys to do this on your end. If you already have written articles, which I'm sure you guys do. So let's say this was your article. You're like, okay, this is a pretty boring page, as you guys can see. I have a good bit of written content here, but I have no images. I have no videos. I don't even have a sidebar. It's definitely lacking a lot. What I can actually do is I can grab this URL here at the top, simply copy it. I can go into Flickify, and then I can just enter the URL right here. So I can simply paste it and hit go. And as you guys will see, this is actually going to start creating a video for you. So here we are. This is basically going to be how the tool looks. Over here under narration, this is actually going to be the written content. So this is how I kind of started my article. This will be a second slide, third slide. So you guys can actually see it breaks up your content basically in the paragraphs. And it basically breaks it up how you wrote it. So you guys can see I have this here. It breaks it up into basically scenes or slides. And then from there, you can hit the settings icon in the top right here. Settings. Some of the things I can do is I can actually change the voice because someone will be reading the text on the page. That's going to be part of the video. But you can change the voice. You can have like a female from Great Britain. You can have a male from the US. You have a female from the US, another female from the US, a female from Australia. Let's do that one for now. And then you can actually also add a soundtrack. The one I liked the most is Causing Mischief. I thought this one was hilarious and also a really fun soundtrack to listen to. It's really quiet. I can't even hear it right now. I think that's because I'm in live stream. But if you guys can hear it on your end, hopefully I'm head nodding at the right time of the music. But this percentage indicator will basically be your volume, as you guys can see next to it right here. I'm going to set it to 25, which I believe was the default setting. And then boom. So I have it already saved right here. So I have my voice, I have my soundtrack, and then I can actually choose the theme. So that'll actually change this background right here. So I can kind of show you guys what this looks like. And there's a couple already pre-saved ones. There's some other ones, but we have like mechanic. The one I was looking at before, I think it was called Road or Long Road. Oh yeah, this one. Because this is like a car domain, so I thought, the theme, should probably be in line with what the article actually is. So when I first started looking for my dream car, I looked for many reasons not to buy it. And this is basically how the video will start. From there, you can actually click Auto Match to. But basically what Auto Match will do, it will basically find and assign the correct settings and analyze the narration for you automatically. But as it's pretty easy and straightforward, this is going to be basically how I'm going to set it up from here. This default slide delay will basically be the delay from when the next slide shows. I chose 0.5 seconds because I felt like the less of the delay, the better. And believe it or not, we're done. Like that's really all it was. And then you can hit preview right here. It's going to generate a preview for me. Press play. Again, I don't think I can hear the audio because I'm on StreamYard, so I'm sharing my screen and all. But yeah, you can click show track list. It'll show it right here. Again, I can change the volume back and forth. Wait, I think my volume is just off my computer. That's why. I can hear it now. Okay, my volume was off my computer, but now it's on. So funny how the volume off button works. But yeah, that's basically how you'll create a video. And then from there, preview. You can hit I'm done, render my video. And then you can have these two options right here. You can have simply publish video when it's rendered, so it's ready to go right away. Or you can just say, send me an email when it's rendered. And I don't want it to publish right away. I'm just going to say, send me an email when it's ready. And I actually already rendered this video, so it's saved. So I'm not going to render it again, just save some resources. But that's really how easy it was. And I kind of even took extra time walking you guys through it. So in reality, I could have done that in half the time. And then from there, I have a video I can go ahead and add to my page. So that's really, really cool. I can go here and I can see my media library. So I have media that's saved basically to my computer. These are not Flickify videos, but these are basically, this is media that I have saved on my actual computer. So I have a bunch of different pictures. I have some videos as well. So I can upload those, add in here. And then when I'm actually in the new, when I'm in this section right here, that media that I save is going to show up here on the left side. So that'll be all right here. So you can actually go through your personal images and your videos that you've actually uploaded. We also have some default ones saved here, but that's basically how it works. So super cool. I like this one, the washing the car. This is me most weekends. But yeah, that's basically how easy and straightforward it's going to be. So you can use, your own media. You can create your own backgrounds and themes. From there, your images. You can create your own audio. Maybe you can create like a voiceover, so you don't want to use an automated voice. But basically, this is going to be very customizable for you guys. And as you guys can see, I kind of messed around with a bunch of different drafts. But this is the one that I created and I rendered, and it's already ready to go. So you guys can see that if I go here, I can simply go in and edit it again. I can make all the changes I would like, but I can simply, I don't want to delete it obviously, but you can go ahead, upload it to Humix Studio. I can simply just play it from here. Let's check it out in Humix Studio. Cool. But yeah, so you can see these are my shared ones because I do have this one that is allowed to be shared. So under the default settings, Helen, I'm pretty sure it will also already be, sorry, I was reading some of these questions. Helen, it should already be set to be shared. So you should be all set there. I'm gonna see where it came into my Humix. So I have 2 total uploads. That's the one I just did. I have an upload processing still, but this is basically going to be the dashboard of what Humix is looking like. So I can upload a new video here. That's one I've already created in Flickify or outside Flickify. I can upload a batch of videos in our old video player. In our current video player, we already had the import or embed your YouTube videos to the dashboard. So that's where you can do this here through Humix. You can see the ones that are currently being displayed on pages, on your own pages. This shared section is where it's going to be shared on other people's pages. This is the studio, so you guys can see I have one. This is media that I've uploaded from my computer, so this wasn't one that I enabled through Clickify, so this was one of those simple upload new videos. This is the video processing one. This is the video we just made together. And then from there, I can basically customize it in Humix. I can then share it to others so they can actually add it on their pages. Of course, something that seems obvious, but is something we should touch on, is you do want to obviously upload videos that are, relative to your current content. You don't want to be uploading random videos that are completely irrelevant. So for example, I have this video here, which as Anna knows, I love and all, but I can basically, upload this video and then go from there. The really cool thing about Humix, as we can kind of go through here, is we can go ahead, start creating tags. So look, we can select a category. We'll say something along the lines of, if it was this one, so this is actually like a video from a concert. Their name is Beach House. So if I wanted to do it, I could do something along the lines of like live music, or I could do something along the lines of, Beach House, something like that. Or I can do, and then, value could be Beach House or live concert, however you guys want to do that, and then create a tag. Next, you guys can actually, search some keywords. So you do want to do a little bit of an SEO audit to basically find your keyword that you want to go after. But let's say this one was Beach House. I could simply add it there. Down here, I'll exit this out, but you can see your IAB categories. You can go through and find which one this would fall under. So this would be like music and audio. I can add that there. If it also fell under another one, you could also add that, but it's definitely going to be under music and that. From there, I can actually add the URL where this is going to be. I can create some text and add a link there. I can also add some closed captions, and you can actually create your own transcription or transcribe your current context and then add it so you can actually have it in other languages or this language. And then from there, advanced settings, you can restrict it by who you share it with or on the sites, basically on the sites I want to share it with. But I have that one already off. So I already had these settings saved, so I'm not going to go do that again. But again, privacy, I can simply switch this to private. So, I can continue to mess with it on my end. And then when I'm kind of ready, I can then go hit public, and then, people can go in and share it. This will show all your current video playlists. So I haven't added it yet, but if I wanted to, let's just do create. Well, I don't have multiple videos yet, but let's say I just want to loop them. Playlist name. I'm just going to call it like all videos for now. And then from here, I can just add videos to a certain playlist. I only have 2, but let's say I had one beach house and then I had like another video here that was like live music of another band. I could upload those 2 and then create like a loop, or I can have them shuffle, or I can do auto skip, or all 3. But yeah, here's another way you can upload batch videos. And then these are actually our platform quality. Like these are the videos we could actually go in if we see that they are, explicit behavior or enticing some illegal behavior. We can actually block them. That's when you'll see them. We can go into this a little bit more because I do want to do an entire section dedicated on this, but I don't want to fall back on some of these questions. Of course, this is where you can see some of your ad configuration. So if I wanted to change this, I could. You can change your optimization goals, network opt-ins, settings. Again, I do want to go through this a bit more with you guys kind of on its own, but I know you guys have a bunch of questions here, and I don't want to miss it. This will basically be my channel where it shows more. You can show my YouTube settings. Again, I don't have a YouTube channel, but if I did, I could simply link it and then upload those videos easily through YouTube to the dashboard. But yeah, that's basically how that's going to look for you guys. So again, I know we've been talking about video content, but oh, nice, Helen. Yeah, so it is going to be under the monetization and turn on the share video to on. Again, if you don't want it to, you can simply switch it to private. But I think one of the best features of Humix, and that others are kind of reaping the benefits, is that you can share your videos to other pages and earn money. It will be a revenue split, but still, it's beyond a win. From there, I'll actually go to my article that I have, and I'll find a good place to add it. Sometimes I like to add it just below the fold. Let me actually log out of this really quick because I want to be accessing my domain, not being logged in. Cool. Let's go to our article. So this is going to be like above the fold. So I probably want to add the video maybe somewhere like right here. Again, it's personal preference. If you guys do have a sidebar and you want to add videos, Helen, maybe this pertains to you. I think one of the best places to add it is to like the top or middle of your sidebar, and then you can have it floating down with the page as well. It won't change while the video is in viewability. But once you go below the fold and you kind of start scrolling, then the video will follow you down with the page. But once you guys want to actually add that video to your page, you can go to the Chrome extension, the Ezoic Chrome extension up here in the corner. We're going to go to Humix, this second tab right here. Humix, we're going to select Create right here next to View. Select Embed Location. This is going to be a similar way. You guys just want to like select an element or a div, but you guys can see I already added a video right here. So for sakes, let's just delete this. Give it a second. Let's add another. So as you guys know, when I attach it to this div, it might go to the top, but I can actually select right here, and this will put it to the bottom of the element. Insert here. I can choose which one I want to do because this is my, car domain. I'm going to do, the car video, of course, because that pertains to the actual content. This is that playlist that we created earlier, the one I called all videos. I wouldn't assign that to here because this will include both of those. But that'll be nice if you do have multiple car videos. I could easily just select, let's say this category or playlist was cars. I could just have like, it'll shuffle those videos because I selected shuffle. It'll loop them because I selected the loop. And then it'll also auto play. So I could do like save embed. This is going to be my car video. And then over here on the side, this is going to be the same way you guys do it for your display ads. You can change the width, the height. I can name this, so I can say like mid content. And then I can set it for an entire directory as well. So if I wanted to show on all pages, I could select this and then just add it here. So it actually is going to apply to all pages that follow this backslash. I just want it for this one. I do want it to auto start. You can select loop if you would like. You can select which devices you want to add it to. But these all look great, so I'm going to do save embed. Allow it to add, and then it's going to show there. So now I have my video placeholder. Oops. Let me deactivate the plugin. And then it will show, so you guys can see that right there. And that's really how simple it's going to be. Of course, you know, I walked you guys through that, and I kind of talked through, and I talked through some of the other features. But in reality, if I was trying to manage my time a little bit better, I could go into Flickify, upload my URL, pick a theme, pick a voice, pick a background, render the video. The video rendered for me relatively quickly. They sent me an email that it was done. And then I just simply go ahead, enable the Chrome extension, add a placeholder, and I now have a video on my thing. I don't know why the beach house one is showing. I probably selected the wrong one without paying attention. But as you guys can see, once I go to the top and it's outside the viewability, this is a function now it's going to serve. It's actually going to be in the side here, come down with the scroll, back to where it's at, and then back into the sidebar like that. So it's really, really cool. So this is going to be a really well-performing video. It's going to be in the viewability and never ever comes into contact with the content. So from a user experience, this is never going to be an issue. But this, again, guys, this is just a really, really exciting feature that we're all really excited about. It's going to be insane, the benefits you guys will see in terms of revenue, traffic. But yeah, that's basically how it's going to work. I do want to view this again and see if I just accidentally selected the wrong video here. Cool. Let's see. I might have misassigned the original video. Let's see if it changes. I might have to go in and then re-upload it. I don't know. I think the original placeholder that I actually created and then deleted was either this one or the old one. So I need to go through and configure that. But that's really how easy it is, and it's such a nice feature to have. This is more of it. I'll give you guys. I don't like sharing this content because I love these videos and I hold them near and dear to my heart. But Beach House is rad. So yeah. Let me see if you guys have any questions. I can go through that again if you guys want. I'm more than happy to do that. But I do think that what is the 17th of this month? The 17th is Monday. Perfect. So next week on Monday, I'm not assigning homework, but your guys' homework is going to be to actually just go to your dashboard and check all these features out. Create some videos to Flickify. Use some other videos that were created through Humix. Add those videos to your pages. Create your own Humix videos. Upload all your videos. Embed your YouTube videos. I really want you guys to utilize these tools because they are absolutely incredible. They are what how am I supposed to say this? These features and tools are what makes Ezoic so amazing. Why was that so hard to come off my tongue? But that really does separate what Ezoic has from the rest of our competition. We're not just an ad serving network. We are an all-in-one publisher tool. I recently read something was like, oh, you know, Ezoic's features are really, really great, but I don't want to utilize them all. That's totally fine. You don't have to. But we're going to create them. So if you guys do want them, you have them at your expense for free. There's literally nothing holding you guys back. We're not holding anything back from you all. Well, I guess technically we are until the 17th. But honestly, you guys can see the positive side of that. Even just waiting to the 17th is when I was actually in Humix, and you guys saw in the top right corner when I was seeing preview video. This is still in beta. We've tested it across tons and tons of domains, so it's not a brand new product, but we're continuously making changes. since we've talked, we've probably pushed an update for these because we do want it fully dialed in, but that's basically why it's showing beta. And this is just the start of these features. They will be changing. We will be making improvements. We will be making changes. So this really is just the beginning for us. Now let me answer some of these questions. Beatrice says the speed tab on my Ezoic platform shows also the following text. In quotes, leap optimization settings will not work on your site until all setup steps are complete. What should I do here? My website is also butchered since I'm being on Ezoic. I'm assuming that was you're talking about site speed. I mean that by my content is here and they're cut in pieces and the layout changed, like on my webinar page and my contact page. Contact form is smaller than it used to be. So Beatrice, this is definitely something I want to look into. If you want to drop your domain down in the comment section, I'll be more than happy to pull this up right now. Oh, there you go. Okay. Beatrice, I saw you added your domain in the bottom. I can see it now. YouTube did not exclude that comment. So before I pull it up and just give a quick walkthrough, I just want to get your confirmation and your consent that it is okay for me to share your domain in front of everyone else. Anna also thinks Beach House rocks. And it's not because she thinks it, it's because she knows Beach House rocks, because they do. If you guys are into that type of music, maybe indie pop, indie rock is considered, you should give them a listen. What is it?
Dream pop.
Dream pop?
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot more sense. Dream pop. But to Vessel Chain, they say, can we use images from Unsplash in our blogs? I am not familiar with Unsplash, to be honest. So if these are images that you own, then yes. So it does look like they give you free reign to basically use these images, but I would honestly suggest using your own. Beatrice says, yes, Charlie, it's okay for me to show my website to the audience. Perfect. Thank you for that, Beatrice. But to answer your question, yes, because I guess they give you consent for using them, and I guess these are images that they own and they're sharing with you. But I would say that if you do have your own images, just go ahead and use those. It makes you unique. It makes you original. It's definitely going to be better for your audience to see. I think we all would agree that it's kind of easy to point out a default image opposed to an original one. Sometimes original ones are really good and you can intermix, but again, I would highly suggest using your own. Let me pull up Beatrice's domain again. What is it? I must have spelled it wrong. Oh, H-E-I. Oh, that's what I put. Oh, Trife. I can't spell. English has not been my first language all week. I've been struggling speaking it, typing it, and everything between. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. Okay. Pulling up your domain right now for you, Beatrice. Cool. I'm going to share my screen. Let me also pull up your actual domain so I can share that. Cool. Okay, so Helen added here back to the Unsplash. Unsplash is simple, is using a simple license that lets you use images for free. The only restriction, you cannot sell anything using these photos. Unsplash has its own license. So that does sound like you guys are selling your inventory through Unsplash, so I will just try to avoid that at all costs. vessel chain, I'll say, how about instead of adding images, let's wait till Monday and you should just add some videos using Flickify. But thank you for chiming in there, Helen, and helping out. Cool. Okay, so here I am in Beatrice's dashboard. I just want to give a quick look at her current metrics. So she is seeing little to no traffic. That's totally okay. Her cache hit rate is kind of all the way at the top at 100 or nothing. But you can probably see that this will kind of entail with how many visits they're having for a day. So she saw 50% on the 7th. That makes sense because probably 1 of 2 users were getting a cache hit. So this does look like your cache hit and your cache is optimized, which is really, really great for site speed. But just the limited number of visits is going to be your greatest limiting factor here. Kojo, I'll be more than happy to go through your placeholder setup too. Just bear with me while I go through this first. Let me go back to her question. She was talking about the content and the layout. So let's actually go to her page. Accept these. Let's go to a blog. First thing I notice is that you do have an ad here above your H1 title. I would probably suggest removing this, especially on the home page. This is definitely just not going to be your best. It might be a good performing placeholder or ad, but I wouldn't suggest adding it here above the fold, above your H1 like that. So it does look like you added one here using the Chrome extension. Beatrice, if it's okay, oh, you don't want ads on your homepage. So is it okay if I go through and actually remove this one for you? One way I could do that is I could simply edit this one. I don't know why it's not letting me click on this. I've never seen that before. But there is another way I can get around this. And this is a really helpful tool for you all. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to grab the homepage URL. I'm going to go to the monetization tab. I'm going to scroll down to disable ads by page. Sorry if that was a little quick. I'm going to keep going, keep going. So I've disable ads by page. I can simply go to settings, page rules, or ad tester. Ad tester will be for specific, hold on. Let me just create this new rule before I get too distracted. Just for the single page, so I'm going to page rule because this is going to be for your home page. Again, if I wanted to do it for all pages or a directory of pages, I could do that here, but I'm going to do just this home page. And I'm simply just going to do backslash because it's going to be for your home page. Create rule. Close. And then I'm actually going to also go into the speed tab. I'm going to go into caching. And I'm just going to clear cache for the home page. That way, any new users that come will see this newest version of the home page. Again, I want to click clear for URL. You never want to hit this clear cache button unless you've made changes across all pages of your domain, because this clear cache button will reset your entire cache for all pages. So let's just do clear for URL. Open up a new tab, go to the home page, and we still have an ad showing. Beautiful. Wasn't that great? So I'm really curious how you added this in, because I've never seen a placeholder appear from the back, and it seems like it's underneath here. Beatrice, can you let me know how you actually added this placeholder onto your page? But again, you guys can see that did show, so I don't know why that is going. I'm curious what you actually used to build your domain, if that could be part of it. I don't have your actual login. I just wanted to see if you were using WordPress, which you are. You can't either. One thing I'll normally do is I'll check your headers to see maybe, okay, so you do have Lightspeed enabled as a server in your headers, which could be caching behind Ezoic. Beatrice said I have used WordPress plugin and the Chrome extension, so maybe some of the this server that's enabled at your host could be caching some of this content and serving it, which is why I cannot change this. So I will say, go ahead, go to your host and actually disable Lightspeed. It is not needed and unnecessary as you're using the Ezoic CDN since you have cloud integrated. These are cool articles. I already know I'm going to be a fan of these, but let's go solar system. Cool. So I see what you mean through some of your. Okay, so I totally see what you're talking about. The ads are disrupting the layout pretty severely right here. There's two things I want to do first. I want to first see if this is a caching issue, and I can show you how to troubleshoot that. The next thing I want to do is see if this is a leap issue. So what I can do is I can add $no cache to the end of the URL and hit enter. This will access the page bypassing cache to see if this is a caching issue. So as you guys can see now, we do have some of this overlying layout still. So it doesn't look like that. Let's load the page again. The other way I can do is I can add, yeah, Beatrice, thanks for asking your host to do that. The other thing I can do is to see if this is leap related is I can do site speed in one word, underscore preview equals -1. I'll add this to the comment section so you guys can just copy it and make sure you have it correct. But if you're ever seeing layout issues like this and you want to see if it is related to leap, you can simply add this parameter or this little snippet right here to the end of the URL, hit enter. And if nothing changes, then we can say, okay, this is not due to leap. But it does actually, it doesn't look like it is. Now what I'm trying to get at is here is the way you added your placeholders is most likely going to be the issue here. I don't know where you added them, but as you can see, however you added them, whatever divs or elements you actually added them to and whatever edits you did to the actual placeholders is going to be what's actually changing the layout here. So it's not leap, it's not caching, it's going to be the way you actually added your placeholders to your pages. See, we even have some down here at the bottom. That's okay. Let me go to another page because the content here is okay, but I want to find like another article that is a little bit more formal in structure. So if this is the page you added your placeholders to, that's going to make sense to why your actual articles look kind of funky, because whatever elements you added these placeholders to, they're being found on your articles as well in other locations. So that's why it's actually breaking the layout. That's another thing I'm noticing right now, Beatrice, is that your H1 tag is actually hiding until I hover it. That's definitely something I would say to look into. Let's see if it's related to. See if this is related to leap. It does not look like it is because you guys can see they still don't show. So Beatrice, I'm curious if you're actually running any site speed optimizations outside of Ezoic. Oh, I think I started on my blog page to put the ads on. Okay. Let's go to another article. Okay. This looks much better. Seeing some duplicates. Beatrice, I'll make a couple edits from mine if that's okay. I don't want to make changes without your consent, of course. I haven't you haven't said that I could yet. But yeah, the placeholder setup looks really good. Some of these doubled up ones are probably why you're seeing some of those doubled up. But then here at the bottom, there's definitely a handful of here that we can exclude from this page. So for example, I can click on edit, do not show on this page. So it'll just block it from showing on this page. It'll still show on others. You can also edit them and just delete them entirely. So if the placeholder was creating issues across all of your pages, you can simply hit delete. If you're on the fence if you should delete or not, if you're not sure it's showing on other pages, I would never suggest deleting placeholders unless they are for sure creating issues across all pages. Okay, cool. Beatrice was just saying that's okay if I make some changes. So I'm just going to do not show on this page. The reason why we never suggest actually removing or deleting placeholders entirely is because each placeholder here actually stores valuable data that is important for our AI to kind of learn and optimize your site. So when you do delete placeholders, you are deleting valuable data as well. Beatrice, I actually have a video I would like to share with you. Maybe I'll send it after this live stream, but Anna knows it's this video of the moon that I got, and by the looks of your emblem here in the live stream, you have a thing for the moon in your articles. So I have a very, very cool video to show you that I took a couple weekends ago of the moon. I'll actually add it to my Humix dashboard so you can share it on your domain if you would like. Of course, if you think it fits. I personally think it'll fit, partially because I'm biased and because it's a cool shot of the moon. But that's kind of what makes Humix so cool, is that if I have a video that I really like and you think it's also cool, I can share it with you and you can share it. But maybe I'll send you like a screenshot of that after. Okay, so now you can see that the comment section has already fixed itself. We had a bunch of those placeholders at the bottom creating tons of issues. I do want to go through some of the sidebar as well. You just have a handful of them added. I'm going to keep the floating. I'm actually going to delete these. I'm just going to do not show on this page, and then you can go through after and make the other changes to your whole website. Yeah, Beatrice, it's really cool. I normally would never say that about something that I took before, but I'm pretty shook of how the video turned out as well. So I'll be more than happy to share that with you. But as you guys can already see, this page is already starting to kind of come together a bit more. There was just a wide array of placeholders showing all across the entire site. I mean, there's a ton of sidebar placeholders, and these are WordPress generated ones. So Beatrice, I like where your head was at here. Adding more placeholders is a great practice because the more placeholders equals more variables for AI to test, which means there's more optimization for each user, which means there's better user experience, which means there's better revenue. So this is not a bad thing that you went and added a lot. There's just a few too many. Again, Beatrice, I'm just making it. I'm just making changes to this page specifically, so I'm not making them site-wide changes yet. But I want to show you that kind of cleaning up your placeholders for this page specifically, how it will actually change the layout. deactivate. Cool. So this is another kind of comment that I just want to touch up on really quick. I think I've added about 10 ads per page. So remember that when we're adding these placeholders, these are actually just potential ad locations. So when we add 15 placeholders, that does not always mean that 10 ads will show, or whatever number I said. Let's say you add 15 placeholders, that might mean that like only 6 or 7 will show, but it means that there's 15 different locations that our ad tester can test. So it does not mean adding more placeholders means more ads will show. It just means there'll be more variables for our AI to test. Okay. So still at the top of the page, we still have our sidebar. We have our sidebar floating. We have some mid content. This sidebar is going to float with the screen now. That's awesome. We have a bunch here. And then these images, I don't know if there's supposed to be something under here or not, but you could already tell that the rest of the page is simply showing way better. So I can totally see, Beatrice, where you're coming from, saying that, you know, it did break the layout. It did. There was just a few too many placeholders kind of sporadically throughout the site. But I know you're also talking about your leap not being enabled. Activate. Oh, it's saying complete setup. Your setup is complete. Cool. So the first couple things I'll always suggest when you guys, so this is going to kind of be my transition into a, yeah, it is showing a lot better, and there's still more we can do. I think that sidebar placeholder was adaptive, so we're showing more than one ad in that location. I can also help you with that and change some of those for you, Beatrice, but I want to make sure I'm not missing any of these comments from before. Cool. I don't think I did miss any questions. Perfect. Oh, I'll have to share it with her. I don't think I can share my screen in my moon video. I think I'm a little too coveted of it right now. That's just me being weird, not because I'm not allowed to show you. But the first thing I'll always say when you guys want to check out your Leap setup is to look at these recommendations that we offer. So Leap is a really amazing tool for a handful of reasons. One, it analyzes Core Web Vital data. Core Web Vitals are actually the current and valid metrics that are important to Google and SEO. Those are kind of the current metrics that everyone's analyzing. Those are kind of the standard metrics as of right now. So it analyzes real user data, which means that when you set up Leap and you actually activate it, the results might not show right away. It'll show in a graph, and it'll have to be going, gradually up or gradually down. That's because once you enable them, we will wait for real user data to come through to then display your scores. Another amazing reason why Leap is so good is because it is actually kind of an unbiased tool. So anything that is hindering site speed, whether it's coming from Ezoic, a plugin, your host, your Reddit, anywhere, it'll flag anything that's hindering site speed, either a little bit or a lot of it, and everything in between. But these red exclamation points are saying, hey, look, 27% of domains using this technology perform significantly worse than the average site. So it's not saying get rid of these things you use because they're valuable for you, but it's saying, hey, the current technology you're using is very slow. It's hindering site speed a lot. And again, we're not saying remove them, but you can go to view alternatives and check out some free options that are much faster. So this way you can still use the features that you had before. You don't have to make a sacrifice there, but you can simply just use a faster technology. Or if you're saying, hey, cart fragments isn't that important to my setup, but has a severe negative impact, maybe it is your best option to remove it. Images loaded has a negative impact. This is a prime example of simply just remove this, because you can actually use some of the optimization settings in Leap for these same exact functions. recaptcha, unneeded, advanced ads, unneeded. You can do that all through Ezoic. But there's actually 3 pages of this, so this is a lot of technology you're running on your site. We published some articles recently that went over some of the differences between the themes you guys use, and so a lot of the data, and basically the conclusion of that article was a simpler site and a simpler setup and a simpler theme is actually going to be a lot faster. It's going to be a lot more well organized. It's going to be less crazy. It'll actually improve user experience, and in turn it'll actually improve revenue. So sometimes scraping off the excess and kind of taking it down to a more narrow basic setup is your best option. But I can go into your optimization settings. You can simply hit here, Beatrice, set up my site for me, or you can set it up yourself. But basically the process will be exactly what it shows here, is you'll pick all of your settings. Once you pick all of your settings, you're going to preview your site. So you want to go through everything to make sure it's still fully functional, everything looks really good, and then you're going to activate it. I won't do this for you, but again, you can just simply click here and do set up my site for me. Again, this is going to be the technologies that are being flagged all here. So Elementor is extreme. That actually is extreme. We've had a lot of publishers move away from Elementor. Ezoic Lab, you can simply grab a URL, throw in the Ezoic Lab, and this will be basically a field, or not a field, it'll be a lab type scan of your site. So it won't be from a real user data, but you guys can kind of see some of the data it pulls. It'll tell you what's going wrong and basically the best steps to move forward. But yeah, we'll give it a second. And then this last tab here is actually like a leaderboard section. So you can see all of the other websites that are using Ezoic and Leap, and you can see basically the ones at the top, how they're set up, how they're optimized, and how they have perfect scores. Vessel chain, I will answer your question. I'll say, yeah, you can take screenshots of things that you're using, like platform-wise, and add them into your content, so that way it gives your user a better idea of kind of what you're talking about. But I will also say be careful of the things you do screenshot. But in general, I'm still going to result back to it's just best to use your own images. So I scanned the page. It's telling us LCP is 3.9 seconds, which means it does need improvement. It's going to flag what is hindering LCP the most. And then it's basically saying, look, your LCP right now is 3.9 seconds with absolutely nothing enabled. It'll say your initial server response time is 3,000 milliseconds. Web font load, reduce unused JavaScript. You can also do that through Leap. Remove or reduce unused CSS. You can also do that through Leap. Minify Java, that can also be done through Leap. So everything you guys will need for site speed can be handled through Leap. So I was reading some of the newer questions. So should I also update PHP on my website to a higher version than 7.3? Does an older version of PHP have a negative impact on Leap? I wouldn't say yes or no. I don't know for sure. But I will say we're constantly updating Leap, so staying on top of the most recent version of your PHP will definitely be your best practice going forward. I can't see why this would create an issue going to the newest version of 7.4 or whatever it is. But yeah, your pages are already scoring decent. And again, there's just very little traffic, which is why we don't have an overview data yet. We just don't have enough data. This points back to how Leap does analyze real user data. But yeah, again, here's another way you can just say, set up my site for you. Once you do that, you'll see all the leaderboards of all the other domains that are showing ads using Ezoic, using Leap, and have absolutely perfect Core Web Vital scores. It's very possible, very doable. You can see that Beatrice already has. Cool. So I'll be more than happy to go this. I just want to read Ash's question really quick. No. So the question is, hey, random question, and maybe you might not know, but I cannot seem to get indexed on Bing, despite being successfully indexed on Google for a year. I've worked on robots.txt and meta tags and everything else, and I can think of. Are there any common issues you hear about publishers encountering with Bing? Personally, no. Sorry. I have seen this in the past, and I don't know exactly what the issues were, but let me see if I can pull up a response for you really quick. So I would check to make sure. I know you said there's no issues with your robots.txt, but I want to make sure that Bing can crawl this page for you. That's basically so the most recent one, someone wrote about this 3 days ago within Ezoic, and they were saying that Bing could not successfully crawl this page, which is why. So that's going to be my first. Oh, I have issue on mobile. Kojo, I think this is your domain that I pulled up. Maybe not. Who asked this question? Or sorry, not this question. Who asked for the placeholder setup? Oh, it was you, Kojo. Cool. So they were saying I have an issue on mobile. Ash's page are getting crawled and not indexed. Okay, Ash, can you do me a favor and can you go to our community? This URL I'm going to share with you and you guys can see. Can you go ahead and post that issue to the community and we can get working on that for you right away? But I also have Google AdSense. So back to the placeholder setup. If you do have Google AdSense showing, we for sure want to take care of that. I would highly suggest, honestly, just removing this placeholder from here. It's not a great location. It might perform really well, but it might hinder user experience more than it does provide benefit. Oh, Google Translate is enabled. Cool. So this is actually a sidebar here. Kojo, hopefully I'm not butchering your name, but it's okay if I make changes to your pages as I go through this, or do you want me to just leave it alone and point you in the right direction? Because if I were to point you in the right direction, I would for sure change this and just say do not show on this page. Having a sidebar in your H1 at the top of the page is definitely not going to be your best practice. Top of the page looks fine. This is where, okay, so you do have a sidebar here, sidebar bottom. And this looks fine. Again, optimizing for the home page is usually not the best practice. It's much better to actually go, let's see, let's find a different article. But for the best software, oh wait, it translated it back into French. I'll leave it in French now. But one thing I would probably suggest adding is actually just add a sidebar top. I'm not sure if that's what you were trying to do here with this placeholder, but adding it here instead. Oh, if not, do it right for me. Okay, so I'm actually just going to do this for you. Again, that's not the best practice to delete placeholders, but that was creating an issue across all pages, so that is one that we're going to want to remove. Okay, so your CSS just went out the door. What I think is happening here was you probably have some site speed stuff enabled on the back end, which is why that just happened. Let's see your headers. So it looked like Hostinger could probably have it enabled. You have light speed cache here. That's also why it's missing, but it's still enabled. You have some edge caching. So there's definitely a handful of things enabled on the back end that I would suggest you remove. Let's see if we can get around this without that happening again. Because now it's not even letting me create one. There we go. Cool. Sometimes that also happens when you do have when you do load your pages like via JavaScript. So I don't know what this box here is for. If it has no function, I would just remove it. So for now, I would say remove this, and I'm going to actually add a placeholder right here. I'm going to do sidebar top. Because this is the sidebar top, I want to remove it for mobile because mobile does not have a sidebar, so we just don't want to create issues there. You can create one here, and we can do sidebar middle, remove it for mobile, save. And then I actually will leave this one here, but I would much rather have this placeholder to be a sidebar floating, just because it'll perform much, much better. Again, we want to offer mobile. So that looks great. Let me go back to the middle of it. So you've been adding native ads to the middle of your page as well. I don't know if you just called them native or what, but I would actually just change these two. So like under first paragraph, insert here. Again, we don't have to remove this. Oh, the genius, you said you're still waiting for, I don't know what your domain is. I never saw you comment what your actual domain name is. If you're saying, hey, I commented it, but you didn't say anything, that's because YouTube probably flagged it and removed it. But I'm just going to look for more areas on the page where we can add more. So I'd say here's another one. Let's do under second paragraph. Keep it on for mobile because we want them to show for all devices. Let's add one to the bottom here. Let's start doing in content one so I can just keep track. I don't want to add it to these LI elements because it doesn't always transfer well to the other pages. So I'm actually going to leave that. Under second paragraph, we already have one here. Boom. Let's add one here. So if you guys are sitting here saying, Charlie, like I added placeholders to the plugin, it's not necessary to do this on all my pages. You're right, but you're also wrong. It's good to go through and also just double check to make sure that your placeholder setup is dialed in, even if you added placeholders to the plugin. You guys know that the plugin will add a ton of placeholders to a variety in all your pages and in a bunch of different locations as well. But there's all this prime real estate here that we could easily add more placeholders to, which is what I'm going to do. Sorry, this was 4, so let me do 5. And sometimes it's really good practice to actually find a longer article and then add the placeholders to, because if you do add your placeholders to one article and it's a shorter article, some of the longer articles will have the second half of it basically exposed with no placeholders. So it's good to go through long pages, add placeholders. It's good to go through short ones, add placeholders. Cool. And you still have a bottom of the page. So this, I mean, subjectively, but I would also say objectively, this just looks a lot cleaner without that ad up there. Much better. Sidebar middle is filling, the sidebar top is not. I can try to adjust that again. These are showing great. See, now this sidebar bottom got replaced with the sidebar floating because that sidebar bottom would have been static. But now as I scroll, this is just going to stay in the viewability. It doesn't disrupt anything with the content. It makes no difference to me reading around here. Looks like some of these other ads are already filling. Again, if you add placeholders to a page, it does not mean that an ad will always show. It's just a potential. So if you're saying, hey, I added 10 placeholders, why aren't 10 ads showing? It's because those are just potential ad locations. But I will say that this was a pretty solid setup, actually. There was just, a couple of changes we need to make here and there. But that looked really good. So I would say good job with that. Okay. Let's see what else we got going in here. I am unable to integrate my Cloudflare. The error I'm getting is blah, blah, blah. Oh. So you're saying, your Cloudflare account under one email, try again and reset password, but the login works perfectly on Cloudflare account email. I'm just a little confused right here because you gave me this first email that's the Harkinola, and then the second one was, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't want to butcher it. But you have basically two different emails, so that's going to be my first inclination of what could possibly go wrong here. Make sure you're using your Cloudflare email and login. If you're using the wrong email, it probably will give you it'll probably give you that error. This is a great question right here. Google AdSense and Ezoic are displaying. This has no effect, question mark. If yes, I need advice. So when I went to your pages and I activated the Chrome extension, you guys saw how all of the ads changed from actual ads to colored placeholders, or like those colored boxes. That means that only Ezoic ads are showing. If I were to enable the Chrome extension, and there were ads still showing on the page, that means those are AdSense ads, and we're going to want to wrap those in Ezoic code. So if you're saying, hey, Charlie, I activated the Chrome extension, I see AdSense ads on the page still showing, which means that's a very, very bad thing. And I don't know how to wrap my ads in Ezoic code. Simply reach out to us in support, and we can easily go through the backend, configure a setting for you, and we'll just make sure that those AdSense ads do not show at the same time. That was actually a setting for you guys to enable while you set up through Ezoic, but I think the wording and the phrasing of it kind of throws you guys off. So that's probably an adjustment we'll make on our end to make that a little bit more clear and explicit of what it actually does. But again, if you're seeing that those AdSense ads are showing when the Chrome extension is enabled, please just reach out to us. It's not like it's a policy issue. It's just the fact that you could be hurting your user experience and kind of taking away from the benefit that our ad tester actually provides. So just reach out, let us know, and I can configure that on the back end to make sure that the AdSense ads and Ezoic ads are not showing at the same time. If you're sitting there thinking, hey, well, I kind of want Ezoic and AdSense to show at the same time because I want to earn as much as possible, the way to actually do that is still to remove the AdSense ads from your pages, and then to go into the monetization tab of your dashboard, enable mediation, add AdSense as a mediating partner, and then that will ensure that you're earning as much as possible for all your inventory. Your users are still having a good experience, and that way your revenue will still also stay high. But I'm actually all caught up on questions now, and I'm kind of coming up on my hour and a half, which is usually the length I kind of run these. So if you guys want me to cover something else, Flacco says, what's the average waiting time in those cases review extended? Our team doesn't have enough data to check your site for policy compliance within the 10 business days. at any time frame. This is not a denial. So this is actually exactly what it's showing. It's saying that we don't have enough, your site does not have enough visitors for us to properly analyze your pages. So the best thing to do is just wait. But if you do have a lot of visitors coming on a daily basis and you're still seeing that, please just reach out to us and we can easily help. Beatrice, of course, I'm happy to help. Hopefully that walkthrough was pretty beneficial for you guys. I'm definitely going to do that walkthrough again next week, probably even on Monday. If not Monday, I'll definitely do it on Tuesday. So that way you guys will have, you'll have Flickify enabled, you'll have Humix, you'll have Niche IQ, and we can do it together. I can also configure things better on my end, so I actually portray this better to you all. But yeah. I want to say thank you all for coming. Hopefully you guys found some benefit, learned something new about the features that are coming out through Ezoic, which is really why Ezoic is so amazing. It's not just an ad network. It's a publisher tool. It offers many, many different amazing features. Mr. Cast Iron says, can you explain low cache percentages? Sure. That just means that out of the total pages that are being served in a day, X percentile of pages are being served cache pages. So if you're seeing a really low cache percentage, that means you've probably been clearing cache and that your users are seeing non-cached versions, they're not being served cached versions. So the best thing to do, Mr. Cast Iron, is to actually optimize your cache and then allow it to basically build up over time and time. Back to the Cloudflare issue, you don't need to log into your Cloudflare account with your Ezoic email. It doesn't matter what your Ezoic email is. You just want to make sure that you log in using your Cloudflare email. I did want to touch up on the affiliate program as well right now because we did just revamp it and there's a lot of opportunity for you guys to earn good money. So let's say I was currently using Ezoic like you guys are right now. Let's say Anna has a domain because she's here right next to me. Let's say I wanted to refer her domain. Once I refer her domain, I actually get 3% additional earnings of whatever she makes. So if she makes $100 in a month, I'm getting 3%. I'm getting $3 of extra revenue. It's not being taken away from her. It's just being added on top. And let's also say, let's use Anna again for an example. Let's say I added Anna as like an affiliate partner. Once she made $10 in total, regardless of how long it took, whether it's a day or a year, once she hits $10 of revenue, I'll get a $10 cash bonus. So it's 100% revenue match. Again, it won't be taken away from Anna or her earnings. It's just going to be a $10 cash bonus. Once she hits $100 of revenue, regardless of how long it takes, I'll get $20 cash bonus. Once she hits $200 revenue, I get $50 cash bonus. Once she hits $400 of revenue, I get $100 of cash bonus. And those do compound. They don't take away. So technically, once she hits $400 of revenue, not only am I getting like $15 because it's the 3%, a little less than that, but I'll be basically getting $180 cash bonus on top of that. So that is very, very amazing. So if you have bigger sites that are higher quality, or if you have others, friends in your network that have higher, some bigger domains, go ahead and refer them. And when they hit the $400 of revenue or the $10 or whatever, you'll basically be getting those cash bonuses paid out instantly. So it's just a really, really good avenue for you guys just to earn more money, free money, while also showing others the beautiful things that Ezoic has to offer. I think that's about all I have for today. We went through Flickify, Humix, some caching, some placeholder setup, our affiliate program. I think that's it. So if you guys have nothing else, I'm going to wrap it up. But I do want to say thank you guys again for joining. I do love doing these, so I have a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have fun hearing my gibberish or when I stutter over myself or say crazy things. But regardless, I want to say thank you guys for joining my favorite part of the week. Thanks for giving me some insight. I learned some new things. Hopefully I did the same for you all as well. I will be doing another live stream. Today's Thursday, either Monday or Tuesday. But guys, please, Kojo, what did you want an email? If you guys can't get to support or you can't find, basically how to contact us, I'm going to give my Ezoic email down in the comment section. And I'll basically point you in the right direction to make sure that you are getting the right avenue of support. But again, new features. Thank you, Mr. Cast Iron. You're awesome too. The new features will be available for you guys on Monday. So be excited. Look at the SEO chatter article I wrote. There's a handful of other articles people have already been talking about. Get familiar with these features and how they are. I know we kind of did that here as well, but get familiar with it. And then when they come out, utilize them. They're free. Take advantage of them. They're not gonna turn into like a paid feature or anything in the future. But I just want you guys to fully utilize them, and basically just take advantage of all the things that we give you guys for free. You'll earn more, help with traffic, help with SEO. It'll drive up engagement, and it'll only be beneficial for you all at no cost. Again, it's literally minimal to no effort. I walked you guys through it. I showed you all the features, and it still was, it was on my domain within 5 minutes. So really exciting changes coming in. The dashboard will look a little bit different for you all, but again, I'll have some content ready to show you guys all how it works, how to utilize it, and go from there. Anna and I are actually going to the beach, not for the reason that you guys think. It's actually cloudy and pretty wet in San Diego, but we're doing a basically like a corporate responsibility project where we go to the beach. We work with this local nonprofit called One with the Ocean, and we do things like beach cleanups. Sometimes we collect cans and make money and then give them to that group so they can use that money for other environmental friendly projects. But we're going to go to the beach and pick up trash for a couple of hours. We still have people in support right now. Right after the beach cleanup too, I'll be back on for a little bit to help you guys out. But we'll still have people managing the community and tickets and everything, so you guys won't be alone. But again, lastly, for the last time, thank you guys so much for joining. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a safe and fun weekend, and we'll see you on Monday with new features, new videos, and all that. Bye, everyone.